Good afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon, October 14th, 2023. This is Ron Brown. I'm going to do a market report, but I'm not going to look at any of the standard market charts. I'm going to talk about money flow in and out. Nobody really knows where the market's going, so I'm going to go down a level and show you where the money is flowing and has been flowing. So a little bit different this week. Now here's my standard risk disclaimer. Any stock, index, or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you're not an HGSI user, you can get a free 30-day trial of my Insider Club files and HGSI. Just go to highgrowthstock.com and click on the link. You'll see it there once you get to the site and get the trial. Now with this layout that I've got on my screen, as you can see, I've got a single chart here. It's an end of day chart. I've got my warehouse view down here, and over here I have the designer. Now, if you're not familiar with HGSI, these are the component parts to the program, and the designer is essentially the data reservoir, whereas the warehouse is for scanning, analysis, and so on. As you can see, I've got a lot of fields here, but they all mean something to me. Now, what I've been doing, let's see, when did I start this? I'm going to go back and look. I need to scroll on up here to my non-index groups. These are groups that I keep track of from day to day, and here's the money flow end of day. This is what I'm tracking. I started doing this on August 24th with this particular method that I'm using now, and I've captured it every day in September through yesterday in October. And what I want to show you is how this works and how it really keeps us on top of the market. What's happening, much more than looking at an index chart, which is a composite of all this information. Now, the way I've structured this, and these are in my User SmartGroups for Insider Club members. I've talked about this before, but I want to review it. This one right here shows money flow in industry percentage price change one day and beginning of the week has to be greater than zero. And the reason I did that is I want to see the groups that are performing consistently over a few days, the industry groups. So I'm going to click on that. I'm already down here, and I'll make this full screen. And you can see that when I sort on raw combo, well, actually I need to sort on the industry percentage group with this view that I have. You can see that precious metal and mining stocks, one paper stock, a lot of exploration and production, integrated oil, some managed care, the defense primes have been strong with the situation in Israel, oil and gas equipment, and so on. Marine shipping has been strong for quite some time now. These three columns over here show the industry percentage price change one day since the beginning of the week in 5 days. And as I scroll down here, you can see that these have been the strongest groups, and there's 139 stocks in here. Now, when I go down to the next one, I do not have that industry group requirement in here. The stocks have to be up though. So I'm looking at money flow from this group. When compared to this group, these stocks all have to be up. And let's look at the numbers here. 139 in the first group that requires that the industry groups be up. This one is 1 day price up, and there's 167 stocks here. Same thing goes for money flow out. When I click on money flow out for the industries, you can see these are all negative. Now if I bring up the spectrum analyzer, you can see that internet-based services have had several bad days. Well, let me bring this up so we can see it better. And what do we have here? We only have 95 securities. It was a good week until the last 2 days, and profit-taking set in, and with all the things that are going on in the world, plus interest rates rising again, the market just kind of pulled back. But these are the groups that have been weakest over these time periods. Now, when I just jump down to money flow out without the group requirement, you can see some of the groups are up, actually up yesterday and beginning the week in 5 days, but the stocks were all down. So let's sort on this. Click on the spectrum analyzer. Once again, the internet-based services, bad day yesterday, biotech, auto parts, and so on. Now I want to go back up to money flow in. This is money flow in with just a price requirement being up, and you can see that these industries were not strong over the beginning of the week and the 5-day period. Some of them were, some of them weren't. Here we have some of the same stocks, of course. But this is not as stringent. This is a 1-day look at money flow, and the prior groups are actually a weekly or a longer term look at the money flow. They have to be up, the industries, 1 day and since the beginning of the week. So this is the longer term strength. If I go down to this one, this is the shorter term or 1 day strength. Now, what I'm going to do, this is 1 day, and I capture these every day up here in my non-index groups. I told you that already. And what I'm going to do here is open the group inclusion report, and I'm going to, well, I'll just start with October, and these are money flow in and out. I'm just going to select everything. And what I'm doing is, we'll check children on this. What I'm looking to do is to see if there's consistency in money flow in and out, which stocks and groups come up the most. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this. And here is a stock. This is only in October. You can see that Booz Allen came up 15 times. And let's make this a little bit larger here, so because I want to show you right here where it says these are money flow in. Here's a stock money flow out in. I'm just doing it by number of occurrences, and you can see in October that Booz Allen, BAH, back on the 2nd, the money flow was coming in. It continued the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. So let's take a look at that stock, BAH. Okay, the first one I have here is 10.2. What's this right here? That's 10.2. It caught this effort to rise with massive volume coming in. Look down here. Here was a test, confirmation of that, then a no supply, then an inside day, and then the effort to rise in this stock has not looked back. Now let's look at Cutera, which is money flow out. This is on the 2nd, so CUTR. And you can see this has been going down for a long time. Now here is the 2nd right here. So we're going to extend this a month and see how long this one's been showing up. CUTR. Palo Alto Networks, money flow in. This was from the 2nd. You can do this yourself if you have my files, but I'm just showing you how well this works. So this is from the 2nd. That is the 6th, 927. Okay, here's the first occurrence of it right here. And then there was a down day. And what's this day here? This is the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. The 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th. Okay, the 2nd. I'm looking down here at the bottom, by the way. Here's the 4th, and here's the 5th. So it started showing up, and then the big move up. Let's do one more to the downside. Here's a biotech, CVAC. And you can see that it's been going down for quite some time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this view here, and we'll come back and look at BAH and CUTR. So I want to run this again. And this time I'm going to go back into September, and I'm going to check the children, and let's run this again. Okay, now we have NovaCare medical devices. This is money flow out, as you can see. Here's that Cutera. This goes clear back to September 5th. I'll put that in here right now. And you can see here September. Here's September 5th right here. So it was flowing out of here, going back, clear back to the 5th of September, the 6th, 7th, 8th. You can see that. Now let's go back up here. Let's look at NVCR. Look at this. This was flowing out on the 5th, which is right here, and it just didn't stop. What I'm pointing out here is you have money flow for one day in and out, but if you go back and look at the history on these, you can see that the money has been flowing out in these examples for a long time. Let me find a money flow in. These are all out. A lot of outs here. Now I could have done these individually, ins and outs. I just wanted to show you both though. Boy, these are all out. Here's an in. MMP starting in on September 7th. And September 7th would have been right. Well, this one doesn't count. It isn't trading anymore. It's been bought out. Here's DHT, Marine Holdings. It goes back to the 8th of September. Marine stocks have been strong for a long time. So DHT, the first time was the 8th of September. There it is right there. A little pullback, and then when it starts showing up again, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So here's the 20th, here's the 18th right here. So you can see that the money started flowing back in, and it was showing up in my scans. Here's a money flow in, PDD. And when did this start? It was September 1st, 6th, 11th. It's kind of choppy. 1st. Right here, and I'm sure it was showing up here back in the previous month, but this one's really been choppy. Not a good example. Let me go back to that first one. What am I looking for? BAH. I'm going to do a Control F. BAH. And this one really didn't start until September, so it's but we did catch that. It did catch that one on the big move up. Let's review it though. That right here is when it showed up on 10-2. Right here, if you look down here, you can see it's 10-2. So I'm going to go back up near the top, but even as I scroll down this, I'm way down here. You can see that these stocks appear on multiple days. And then the ones that are at the top have been, the ones that are really trending have the largest number in the group count. I want to find one more in here. I looked at that one. PDD, I looked at that one. Money flow out on that. Okay, here's an end. I'll do this one and then call it good. You get the idea. ACGL. And where did this one start? On the 6th of September, which would have been right here. If you look down here, you can see it's the 6th, and it moved up, and then it had a reaction, impulse reaction. And then what's this day right here? This is 10-4. Let's see if it showed up. Here it is right here. $10.4 right there. So it showed up again. So this just shows you that these groups are working with money flow. So when they start showing up, what do? Well, let's go back to the last day. And I'll just go to October. This would be yesterday. I'm going to use the one without the industry group requirement. Click on warehouse. And then from this point, you can start looking for stocks. Now, I prefer to find stocks that aren't too extended if you can. But one way to do this is to click on the industry percentage price change on the groups, and then I hit the wrong function key there. And then look over here and look for the VPA flags for some potential trades. Now you can see this one right here, Endeavor Silver Corporation, using my Wyckoff indicators, very high volume, widespread, high close, both crossed over. The 3 and the 6 were zeros. I haven't looked at this stock yet, but we're going to take a look at it. Reverse up thrust, that's not good. Yes, it is. What am I talking about? I was thinking of up thrust. Well, here's a reverse up thrust. It's been going down. We're getting 2 VPA signals right here. Strength seen returning after a downturn. High volume adds to strength. This is a cheap stock. Look at the buying that came in on this, though. It might be worth looking at. There's a lot of resistance on it, though. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm just saying you can look at the VPA signals here and look for the stronger groups and see if you can find some potential trades without spending a tremendous amount of time. Let's go down to exploration and production. This signal is 5 days old on the 3 crossing the 6, and 3 days old on the VPOC with a RS of 86, Kirkpatrick 94. Let's take a look at it. Expensive and way too choppy. So let me narrow this list down in a hurry. I'm going to go into my daily prospecting scans, and I'm going to look for, first of all, it's this impulse reaction. These are stocks that have pulled back a little bit from their 52-week, not their 52-week, from a recent high, and see if there are any decent looking trades. Here you have a double top to worry about. You can see it pulled back from the high. Probably going to have trouble getting through there. This one, not crazy about. Look how light the volume is. Just not a lot of, and it shows VPA volume is very low here. Here's above average. Okay, let's look at this one right here. The signal's kind of old, 8 days, but the VPOC just turned positive again. Now this is a decent setup. It's an expensive stock. Had a negative VPA flag. It pulled back. You can see some buyers coming into it on this day right here because of the lower wick. Gap down, but it closed near the high. That is not a bad looking potential trade. Let's, just out of curiosity, QLYS. I'm going to bring up that group inclusion and QLYS. Let's see when the money started flowing into this one. Well, clear back in September, back the 6th, and then in October on the 2nd. So let's look at October 2nd here. Right there was the first time it showed up. Not on the 3rd, and then on the 4th it started showing up here again. If you look over here, you can see that it showed up on the 4th. 9/6 it was showing up. That's 9/6 right there. Didn't do much. Showed up again on the 11th, which is right here, and then it dropped off. The money was not flowing into it after that until it started showing up over here again. You know, the market's had a pretty good run. It's kind of hard to find good looking trades right now. Let's try another one. Let's do a VPOC crossover today. Volume point of control crossover. And you can see that these are zeros in this column here. If I go over here, tighten this up a little bit so we can see it. Here's an effort to rise. Let's take a look at this. Okay, here you go. This has a 98 RS. Here's an effort to rise. It's been moving up for quite some time, MTRX, and it looks like it could go again. Once again, I'm going to end this video here in a second, but let's look at MTRX. Okay, it started showing up clear back in September on the 6th, which would have been right here. And then it showed up again on the 12th. That's the 18th. Right here on this red candle, just before the move started up. And then on the 18th, it was showing up again. That's the 20th. Here's the 18th right here. And you can see that it showed up on the 20th, the 21st, and so on. Lots of September dates, and then the first October date was 10:05 right there. Okay, I think that's enough. This video is getting a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope you get the point that this money flow is a great way to stay on top of what's happening in the market. If you're an Insider Club member, you get these. I update them every day. If you're not using HGSI and you want to try HGSI and my Insider Club, you should try it. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll soon discover the power of this program. As far as the overall market, we had a couple of down days. I don't want to really talk about it too much, but let's just take a quick look at the Qs. I was going to end this, but and I went to a quarterly chart, unfortunately. Alternate D is a daily chart, and you can see what happened. We have an effort to fall on increasing volume. We had a nice little run. The thing that I talked about this or pointed out in my daily reports, on the NASDAQ, there were a lot of light volume days when the stock was going up, and that's really what's known as an anomaly. I've been a little bit leery of it, and then it rolled over, and there was a lot of money flow out of the tech stocks on Friday. Nvidia, which has been one of the leaders, I was in a spread. I got out of it right here on this spinning top, and you can see that it took a pretty good hit on Friday, down $14.84. It's only a 3.2% loss, but still dollar wise, it was a pretty big move, and I'm glad I got out of it. The thing is, it's just so much easier to keep track of money flow to see where the money's going in and out of these groups rather than to make a determination on the broader market. Because this was a bad day here, but when we go back and look at this group inclusion report right here, you can see that there was money flowing in to certain stocks. If you play the long side only, that's what you want to concentrate on. If you play both long and short, we have money flow in and out. That's it. I'm sorry I droned on a little bit too long, but I wanted to make a point about how valuable money flow in and out is.